Welcome back to the deep dive. It is early 2026. We are deep enough into January that the holiday glow has definitely faded. The decorations are probably down.
Or they should be.
Or they should be, yeah. And if you're anything like me, you might be staring at the calendar with this really specific cocktail of emotions. It's 1 part excitement, fresh start, and maybe 3 parts sheer panic.
That sounds about right. It's the New Year's hangover, emotionally speaking.
Exactly. We all have this biological urge to change, right? We want this to be the year.
Yeah, the year everything finally clicks.
But then reality hits you on a random Tuesday morning. You're tired, you're confused, the weather's gray, and you're just totally overwhelmed by this pressure to be perfect immediately.
It's the classic New Year paradox. We want everything to change, so we try to change everything at once. We overhaul our diet, our sleep, our work, our whole personality all before breakfast.
And that's why the gyms are packed on January 2nd and then completely empty by February. So today we're hitting the brakes. We are doing a deep dive into a guide from English Insights called How to Change Your Life Better in 2026. 6 Simple Steps. And I gotta be honest, when I first saw that title, I was a little skeptical. Simple usually means doesn't actually work.
Or too good to be true.
Right. But as I read through it, it felt different, more grounded.
It is different, and it's because of its core philosophy. Most self-help stuff just screams, do more, be more, faster.
Yeah.
This source argues you don't need to change everything, and you definitely don't need to be perfect. The mission of this deep dive really is to explore how small, imperfect steps, literally 1 small thing a day, create the biggest differences over time.
I love that. The idea that I don't have to overhaul my entire existence before my morning coffee. So we've got a roadmap today, 6 key areas from the source. We're going to talk mindset, daily habits, skills, health, environment, and then finally, the catalyst taking action.
And notice the order there. It starts inside your head, all the invisible stuff, before it ever moves to your calendar or your to-do list.
Okay, let's unpack this. The source starts with the foundation, which is changing your mindset. It says pretty explicitly, mindset decides how you live. Now, is that just a motivational slogan, or is there something real behind it?
Mechanical. And it's biological. The source points out that many of us, we walk around with this running commentary in our heads. It's like a radio station playing our greatest failures on a loop.
Oh, I definitely subscribe to that station. Things like, I'm not good enough, I'm lazy, I can't do this.
Exactly. And the source says, these words sound small, but they're incredibly powerful. They are self-reinforcing.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if you repeat them enough, you actually start to believe them. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you tell yourself you're disorganized, you won't bother trying to organize, which just proves you're disorganized.
Right.
See?
Right.
But here's where the source gets tactical. It doesn't just say think happy thoughts, because, that doesn't work when you're stressed.
No, you can't just lie to yourself. Standing in front of a mirror saying, I am a champion, when you feel terrible just feels silly. So what's the strategy?
It suggests a specific reframe. You pause, you notice the negative thought, which is hard enough, and you just change the wording. The specific swap it recommends is changing I can't to I'm learning.
I'm learning. Okay, that feels softer. But does it actually change anything?
Absolutely. Think about what that phrase does. I can't is a wall. It's a full stop. It suggests a fixed state of failure. This is just how I am.
End of story.
End of story. But I'm learning implies movement. It implies a process. It creates space for growth. You aren't failing. You just haven't finished the lesson yet.
It takes all the pressure off. Because if you're just learning, then making a mistake isn't a disaster. It's actually kind of required.
That is the next key point the source makes, redefining mistakes. We're culturally terrified of making mistakes. We think they're character flaws. But the text argues a mistake is just data. Yeah, it's a sign that you're engaging with something new. Every success story comes with a huge pile of mistakes first. If you aren't making any mistakes, you're probably not stretching yourself.
So mistakes are just proof of effort. I like that. Now, connected to this is how we look at time. The source talks about long-term thinking. This is tough for me. I want the reward now.
We all do. Our brains are wired for immediate gratification. Sugar, clicks, comfort. But for 2026, the source argues real change comes from consulting your future self.
Your future self.
Yeah. When you're about to make a choice, you don't ask, what do I want right now? You ask, what does the person I want to be in December want me to do right now?
That creates a bit of distance. It shifts you from, I want this donut now to I want to feel energetic later.
Exactly. It makes the choices in January much, much clearer. You stop fighting for your present comfort and start building your future reality.
Okay, so we've got the mindset. We're learning. We're thinking long term.
Yeah.
But we still have to get through the day. Segment 2 is all about the mechanics of change daily habits.
And specifically, micro habits. The source is adamant here. Big changes don't come from one giant leap. They come from small habits, repeated daily.
Let's talk morning routine. I feel like everyone talks about morning routines. Ice baths, 4 a.m. meditation.
Writing a novel before coffee, yeah.
But this source keeps it very grounded. What's the one big don't here?
The big don't, and this is going to hurt a lot of listeners, is checking your phone first thing.
I knew you were going to say that. I am so guilty. My alarm goes off and my thumb is already opening social media before my eyes are even focused. Why is this such a deal breaker?
It's about how you boot up your brain. The source says it makes your mind busy too fast. You're immediately flooding your brain with other people's emergencies, marketing emails, global news. You're reacting to the world before you've even checked in with yourself.
So you start the day on defense, you're already behind.
Precisely. You're reactive, not active. You've given away your prime attention span to a screen.
So instead of the scroll, the do is pretty simple. Wake up just 10 or 15 minutes earlier. Again, not 4 a.m.
No, just a small buffer. Stretch, drink water, take a deep breath. It's about waking the body gently. It sets a tone of control. If the first thing you do is calm and intentional, you carry that into the rest of the day.
You're signaling to yourself that you run the day.
Yes.
And on the flip side, we have the evening routine. The source places just as much importance on how the day ends.
Because how you end today dictates how you sleep. And how you sleep dictates tomorrow. It's a cycle. The strategy is to slow down the mind. Turn off bright lights, which trick your brain into thinking it's noon.
Stop the doom scrolling.
Stop the doom scrolling and establish a regular bedtime.
There's also a reflection piece here I found helpful, but tricky. It suggests asking questions about your day. Usually for me, that just turns into a beatdown of everything I messed up.
Right, and that's what to avoid. The source suggests simple, non-judgmental questions. What went well today, and what can I improve tomorrow? Notice the tone. It isn't, why am I such a mess? It's objective.
It treats your life like a project you're tweaking, not a judgment on your soul. That brings us to what I think is one of the most important takeaways from this whole thing, the battle between consistency and motivation. I think most of us wait to feel motivated.
Yes, and that is where most people fail. The source says motivation is an emotion. It's like happiness or sadness. It's weather. It comes and goes. You can't build a house on the weather.
But habits are the foundation. They stay.
They stay. The example they give is about the bad days, because we all have them.
Of course.
Everyone can go to the gym when they feel great and have energy. Easy. But what about when you're exhausted, it's raining, you had a bad day, and the couch just looks amazing?
The source says, do a small version of the habit.
Yes, the micro version. This is the game changer.
It really is.
If you can't do the full workout, do 10 push-ups. Can't read a chapter, read a single page. The goal isn't the output, it's keeping the chain of consistency unbroken. Even on your worst day, you show up.
There's that saying, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly.
In the context of habit building, yes, absolutely. A 5-minute walk keeps the identity of a walker alive better than skipping it because you couldn't do 30 minutes.
Moving on to segment 3, let's talk personal growth. This is where I usually get into trouble. I decide to change my life. So I buy a guitar, download a coding app, get a sketchbook, sign up for a marathon.
And the source disagrees with this approach strongly.
It has a one-skill rule.
Right. In 2026, don't try to learn a language, coding, pottery, and kickboxing all at once. Choose exactly one useful skill.
Just one. Why is that so important?
Cognitive load. Learning something new is exhausting for the brain. It takes a lot of energy. If you spread that energy across 5 things, you make 1% progress in 5 directions and feel like you're failing.
You get nowhere.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
But if you put that same energy into one thing, you actually see traction. And that traction creates excitement, which fuels more learning.
So just pick one, and the key is how you learn it.
Practice over observation. This is a huge trap in the YouTube era. The source notes that watching videos, like listening to this deep dive, it feels like work, but it isn't. It's passive. You have to actually do the thing.
The difference between watching a cooking show and actually chopping an onion.
Exactly. You can watch 100 videos on playing the piano, but until your fingers touch the keys, you haven't learned a thing. But again, the bar is low. 10 to 15 minutes of practice a day. That's it.
No, we have to talk about the engine that powers all this. Body and mind. I feel like we often treat our bodies like convenient vehicles for our heads.
It's the base. If your biology is off, your psychology will be off. If you're exhausted, your mindset will slip, your habits will crumble. The source highlights sleep as the absolute foundation.
Right.
It notes that a lack of sleep leads directly to anger, stress, poor decisions. You're fighting a losing battle if you're not sleeping.
And for food and movement, I like that it wasn't some trendy diet.
No keto, no paleo, no fasting, just simple, regular meals. And exercise can be light. Walking, stretching for 10 to 15 minutes. It's for your mood, not a marathon.
But here's the part I really appreciated. The source explicitly validates rest.
Yes, rest is not laziness.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
We really need to hear that. Rest is a biological need. It's essential for recovery. When you rest, that's when your muscles rebuild. That's when your brain consolidates what you learned. Taking a break is part of the work, not avoidance of it.
So we have the mindset, habits, skill, and health. But we don't live in a vacuum. Segment 4 is about the context, changing your environment.
Step 5, it calls the environment the invisible influence. You can have amazing willpower, but if your environment is fighting you, you will lose eventually. Your room, your phone, the people you talk to, they all shape your behavior.
The physical space advice is classic but true. A messy room equals a messy mind. But again, the advice isn't to spend a week decluttering the whole house.
No, that just leads to overwhelm. It says clean just a small area. Your desk. Or just make your bed. That small patch of order brings clarity. It gives your eyes a place to rest that isn't chaotic.
Then there's the digital environment.
It's about the constant energy leak from social media. It steals your focus. The fix isn't necessarily deleting everything. It's about adding friction. Reduce the time. Turn off notifications so you choose when to look instead of the app summoning you.
And what about the social diet? That sounds a bit harsh.
It can be, but it's necessary. The source is clear. Avoid negative people. Listen to supportive ones. We mirror the emotions of people around us. If everyone you talk to is cynical and complaining, you will be too.
And that applies to information too.
Absolutely. If the news you consume just makes you feel helpless and stressed, step back. Choose content that teaches you something or calms you down. Curate your feed like you curate your meals.
Ideally, content like this deep dive.
Ideally, yes. Something that gives you tools, not just anxiety.
All right, here's where it gets really interesting. We've set the stage, we have the tools, we're ready. But so often we still don't start. Segment 5 addresses the catalyst action.
The source tackles the perfect time myth head on. We're always waiting. Waiting till we feel ready or competent or until things calm down at work.
I'll start on Monday. I'll start when this project is over. I'll start when I buy the right shoes.
Yes, but the reality check from the source is brutal but freeing. The perfect time does not exist. There will always be stress. There will always be problems. If you wait for the perfect time, you will wait forever.
So action is greater than planning. This is a tough one for me because I love planning. Planning feels like I'm doing something. I buy the notebook, make the color-coded chart. It feels so productive.
And that's the trap. There's a huge difference between motion and action. Planning, researching, strategizing, that's motion. It feels like work, but it doesn't produce a result. Action is the behavior that delivers an outcome.
Can you give us an example?
Sure, motion is searching for a diet plan. Action is eating a healthy meal. Motion is looking up jogging routes. Action is tying your shoes and walking out the door. Only action moves your life forward. Motion is just a fancy form of procrastination.
That is a vital distinction. So we need to catch ourselves when we're just spinning in motion.
And again, the solution is to start small. Don't worry about the best workout program in the world. Just do 10 minutes of exercise. Don't worry about the perfect book. Just read for 5 minutes. The friction of starting is the hardest part.
And the final tip in this section is about tracking.
Writing down what you do. Checking off a list. It sounds trivial, almost childish, right? Giving yourself a gold star. But seeing that visual proof of forward motion builds confidence. It shows you that you're keeping the promise to yourself.
Okay, let's zoom out and recap. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have. So the 6 steps from the guide. 1, change your mindset. Switch I can't to I'm learning. 2, build daily habits. Consistency over motivation. 3, learn one skill. Practice it a little every day. 4, take care of your body. Sleep, move, rest. 5, change your environment. Clear your space, clear your feed. And 6, take action. Don't wait.
It sounds so doable when you break it down like that. It just strips away the panic we talked about at the beginning.
That's the beauty of it. But I want to reiterate the source's final point. Patience. 2026 is a chance for a new start, but everyone has a different speed. Comparison is the enemy here. Don't look at someone else's chapter 20 and compare it to your chapter 1.
That is such a good reminder. We're all running our own race.
And remember, trusting the process means trusting that those tiny, imperfect actions are compounding. You might not see the change in a day. It's like an ice cube.
An ice cube?
Yeah. Imagine an ice cube in a room that's 25 degrees. You heat the room to 26. Nothing happens. 27, 28, 29, still just a block of ice. You might feel like you're wasting your time.
Right.
But then, at 32 degrees, it starts to melt.
Mm-hmm.
All that work, heating your room was happening. It was just stored potential.
Yeah.
You have to trust the work is happening even when you can't see the results yet.
I love that visual. The breakthrough moment comes from all the work that happened when it looked like nothing was changing.
Exactly.
Thinking about all this, the most provocative thought for me is how we see the future. We often think of it as this distant destination, like a vacation spot we're trying to get to. But really, the future is being built right now. It's being built by that tiny, imperfect choice you make right after this deep dive ends. Will you drink a glass of water? Will you put the phone down for 10 minutes? That isn't just a small choice. That's you constructing your 2026.
It is. The future is just a collection of nows.
So go make your now count. Thanks for diving in with us today.
Take care and good luck with your 2026.
See you next time.